Dennis the Series and The Grow, which we screened last night. So let's give them a warm welcome. I think we're going to keep this really informal today, but just to kind of get an idea of who's here for what. How many Crystal Chappell fans do we have? Fantastic. Excellent. You're a great group, and we're so glad that you're here. And how,
That's for sure.
yes, that's wonderful.
You are, Judy, not me.
And how many filmmakers do we have here? Fantastic. Glad you're here too. I think by the end of this hour, everybody will be able to raise their hand when I ask if you're a fan of Crystal Chappell. So, why don't we? Yes.
Actresses, you didn't.
I consider you guys filmmakers too, because it's collaboration.
Oh.
So, okay, actors and actresses, fantastic performers, and you don't consider yourself filmmakers. Filmmakers couldn't do it without you, so that's true. I would consider changing that title maybe. All right, so why don't we get started? Let's talk about how Venice came to be. How did you get the idea to do Venice?
Guiding Light was a show, a long-running show on CBS, 72 years, I think. It was going off the air, and I've been in a storyline with the lovely Jessica Lucia. The story was very, very popular, very well received, and when they canceled the show, we wanted to continue it in some other form, but on a platform where we had, we didn't have to sell anybody anything, we didn't have to go out and get sponsors, we just could make the product that we wanted to make, and in my mind, it would be super easy just to throw it out there, ignorance really helped me out. It was really on my side with this, but we were able to get it done. We were able to raise the money, and it was launched in December of 2009.
Excellent. And had you ever done anything like this before?
I produced like a CD-ROM. Remember CD-ROMs? In 1996 or something like that. So yeah, I was with my camera and the little small crew and had an idea for a screensaver. This all sounds so dated. At the time, it was like, ooh, I'm going to make a screensaver. It's going to do this, and you can ask questions. I mean, it was very, and you can't even play it anymore because it's so out of date. So I dabble in it, but this is the first time we've actually created a large production.
When did you get started in acting?
1989? I'm old.
You're beautiful.
Thank you. I've always wanted to act. I was very, very shy, and wanted to do soaps. I grew up loving soap operas. My mother and father were never into it. It was my grandmother that loved soaps, and so I would sit with her, and she liked NBC. I liked ABC. No, I love ABC. But I grew up watching All My Children and When Life to Live and General Hospital and all this. So we would fight over the TV, but of course she won. But I always loved soaps, and I thought I really would like to do one, and did some local work in the D.C. Baltimore area, and went to New York in between college, not quite finished, and got my first gig on All My Children. I got a day. And that really just came from me walking into the casting director's office. So you kind of have to have a little bit of gumption to, and again, I'm just ignorant, so I didn't know any better.
I don't know that we have any other soap opera actors in the audience, so tell us what the day in the life of a soap actor is versus the day in the life of producing and starring in a web series.
Well, it's changed over the years because of budgets and time constraints, but usually it's like a 6 a.m. call, which is kind of what we do, no earlier, and you have time to get ready, which we don't have a lot of, and then it's you do dress tape. You just learn your lines, and you hopefully have a minute to run lines with your scene partners, and you go out there, and you do one rehearsal, and then you shoot it, and that's usually pretty much it. When I started, you would dry block the thing in the morning, meaning just getting your blocking and where you stand and which camera you're going to be on. And then you would take a lunch break, and you would come back and you would dress rehearse the whole thing. then you get notes, and then you would tape the whole thing. So we would be there all day long. And now they have to have the crew out by a certain time, and the actors out, otherwise you have to pay them overtime and turnaround. And they don't want to do that. For the actors, we don't get squat. I mean, we might get a few bucks, but it's the crew that's expensive. So they want to get that crew out. And that's why they go dark so much these days. And they don't pay that crew. That crew doesn't get paid when they're dark. No. So the crew doesn't like it, but it saves the show money. We, you know, as we've grown and learned how to do things, and I've had great people who come on board who don't complain. But I was doing 35 pages a day because we shoot it more like a film. We have to set up the lights and do camera checks and positions, and so it takes a little bit longer for the setup. So the cast actually has a little bit of time to run the lines and do what they need to do and rehearse. And then we come out and we shoot it, and we take our time with it. We're not super slow, but we take our time. You know, we get our inserts, and we'll do another take. We were doing 35 pages, which was out of our minds crazy to do. And now we're down to like 18 pages a day, so there's a lot more room to breathe. And do double, more takes, like that.
To give you a contrast for feature films,